For years, I carried the weight of that day like a scar etched deep into my soul. I remember the cruel laughter echoing in my mind, those taunts that stripped me of dignity and shattered my confidence. My beloved dog Max was everything to me, my loyal companion, my protector, my family's gentle heart. Yet one neighbor, blinded by malice or ignorance, took that away with poison, laughing in front of my children as he watched Max gasp and fade. Humiliated doesn't even begin to describe what I felt. I was cast aside, seen as powerless, a disgrace to my community. The whispers spread like wildfire, how I was failing as a woman, as a mother, as a guardian. The shame weighed heavy. I wanted to crawl into a hole and hide from the world that had mocked my pain. But beneath that shame, something fierce ignited. A spark that refused to be extinguished. I decided then and there, I would not let his cruelty define me. I would turn this heartbreak into a weapon, a rallying cry for change. I immersed myself in the fight, not just for Max, but for every voiceless creature suffering in silence. The journey was brutal. I faced skepticism from neighbors, blank stares from those who dismissed me as overreacting. But I pressed on. I rallied my community, igniting a passionate campaign against animal cruelty. Every flyer I handed out, every meeting I attended, my voice grew louder. I shared Max's story, turning my personal pain into a collective call for justice. I refused to be broken. I chose to grow stronger. My children watched me, saw how I refused to bow. Inspired by my resilience, they learned to stand up for what was right. Together, we became more than a family. We became a movement. Every step forward felt like reclaiming a piece of my shattered heart. Our campaign grew. Laws changed. Protections strengthened. The community began to see cruelty for what it truly was, a betrayal of our shared humanity. And then the day came years later when I faced those who once mocked me. I returned to that neighborhood not as a broken woman, but as a woman who had risen from the ashes. They looked at me with surprise, some with shame. I saw their eyes flicker with the realization that I had become unstoppable, unyielding. I stood before them, my voice steady, but burning with emotion. "You thought you could break me," I whispered. "You thought your cruelty would silence my love, my voice. But I turned your laughter into a catalyst for change. Max's memory fuels my fight, my children's courage, my community's awareness. We are no longer victims. We are warriors." A hush fell. I felt the weight of the past lift from my shoulders, replaced by a fierce pride. In that quiet moment, I knew I had rewritten my story, not as a woman humiliated and cast aside, but as a force of justice. I was no longer defined by their cruelty, but by my resilience, my fierce love, and the unbreakable bond I forged with my children and my community. This was my revenge, not against them, but against the darkness that once sought to consume me. And in that victory, I found my true strength. The relentless spirit to protect, to fight for those who cannot, and to stand tall, unshaken.